good questions.
Yeah, can you talk about
I don't
this?
think so.
Okay.
I can infer. I don't know.
Yeah, just how did the night go for you in terms of the expectations going in and how it ended up?
Yeah, we're excited. We, I don't know what. Sarah's giving me the side eye. We're really. I can talk about.
53.
We're super excited about Jalen Clark. We had him as a high first round grade all year. Unfortunately, he got the injury. We think there was no better wing defender in the draft. I think he brings an aggression and toughness and intelligence that allows guys like that to make it. So we're super excited to add him. He's not physically there, and we're going to be very patient with him. But prior to the injury, we thought the guy was an easy first round pick.
Is there any idea of how long it might take to get him back and what?
What
the
it's
timeline?
generally it's probably a 9 to 12 month injury, and we're going to certainly, we didn't draft him for the short term, so we'll be extremely patient. Just talked to him on the phone. He's kind of chomping the bit. I'm going to start running. I'm like, just take your time, But yeah, super excited from a big time program. Mick Cronin is a special coach, and again, you don't have to watch much video to see the way that guy locks people down defensively. He's got great positional size, excellent rebounder. We think he's an emerging shooter, and again, super smart, super tough, and just an unbelievably competitive guy.
When a guy like that declares after having an injury like this, is a lot of the idea kind of to get in a program and just start rehabbing at the NBA level and kind of be around the facilities that you guys have?
Yeah, UCLA, they do such a great job. They had top-notch treatment, but it's in the second round, you're trying to find maybe some chances to be some market inefficiencies, right? If sometimes a guy gets hurt, they get dropped. If you can be patient, you can get a pretty good upside return. And this guy is everything we like in a player in terms of competitiveness and toughness. And again, Defensive Player of the Year. If you look at the list of Defensive Players of the Year, it's a pretty impressive list. And just a really, really good kid who we're excited to have.
9 to 12 months from his surgery in March.
That's totally a guess. I don't know. Yeah, generally I think, but whatever our medical people say. But again, we'll err on the side of caution. Whenever he's ready, he's ready. Significant injury, but we feel pretty good about. The surgery was well done. He's really attacked rehab aggressively, and he's a young kid. They bounce back pretty quickly.
Having enough depth to be on-ball defenders, whether or not you're switching, is really important now in the modern NBA, right? Is that obviously the reason? Why not last year, this year?
Yeah, switchable defenders. I also think he's probably an underrated offensive player with his ability to cut. He's really good at around the rim being physical, and a guy that we kind of like these guys who are self-made. Didn't have a huge role his first couple of years. He could easily transferred, stayed, and played for an elite program, and again for a really elite, hard-nosed coach. So, we like his path, we like his approach, and defensively, again, you can watch for a couple of minutes and see that this guy really cares about guarding people.
You had mentioned yesterday that calls typically happen within 24 hours, and so how much do those phone calls really materialize, or did they materialize in the way that you had envisioned?
Yeah. It was a very active draft. People were moving in, moving out. It was funny. The pick value looked like a bull market, and then looked like a bear market. So there was a lot of calls. We again on draft night, you're just trying to ensure that you potentially had good young pieces, and we think we did that tonight.
Tim, were you looking at any opportunities to get even higher up into the top lottery area, or was that any?
Yeah, we had some. We received some calls, we made some calls, but nothing really. It was more just conversational. It never got to the point where it was actionable.
Do you like any of the news on maybe two-way soon, or you got?
Yeah, we're working pretty good. You guys are killing our ability to college recruit. It's really cool to have the 3 two-ways. It's a pretty active market right now. There's also a lot of really good young players just kind of available. We've had obviously a lot of success. Luka was great last year. Matt was great for us. So if the right name comes available, be aggressive, but we could also be patient and see how Summer League progresses and kind of slow play things.
As you kind of enter free agency here with the additions you made tonight, where do you think this roster just kind of stands, or are you pretty happy with where you're at, whether it be financially, cap-wise, the bench? Kind of, how do you view where this roster is? As you
Yeah,
head to
we
next
feel like, we obviously, fingers crossed, we retain a couple of our own guys. I think the conversations have gone well, and now our ascension can solely be focused on that. The draft, it's hard. You're so draft focused, the calls come and go, but even the agents too, they have all these draft guys. So that'll be what we're really focused on this evening, tomorrow, into the weekend. We like our team. We're not good enough, as evidenced by our early exit. We're not where we want to be or need to be, but we feel like we have a pretty good core and we have a great coach, and kind of like where we're trending.
In general, when a young player can produce at a level like the G League, I'm at a pretty high level. Like, what does that
Like
show
hypothetically?
You? Yeah, just anybody.
Just like theoretically.
Yeah, what does that show you? When
Yeah,
somebody
like
can
if a
produce-
19-year-old could rebound at that level.
Yeah, sure. Anybody. Yeah.
and he just has elite physical tools and a great body.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, look, the G League is probably the top 6 league in the world. We think those numbers translate. It said prospect was an elite rebounder. They generally translate. Rebounding is one of the skills that pretty consistently shows up. So it's if we were lucky enough to get a player like that, it'd be intriguing.
See what happens, huh?
Are you a believer that free throw shooting is a good indicator for general shooting growth?
It depends on the age. Yeah, I think it's just, let's say a prospect was 19, it's hard. It's just because you look at some of these guys who were at 19, they were off the. There's guys who went in the first round tonight that were, where no one's bored at 19. I don't think Jalen was a draftable guy at 19. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good indicator. But if you're so young, I think, it can be dangerous to make steadfast comments about a guy super young.
You talk about at 53 just getting a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something about Jalen just as a person that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, I think he could be saying, this could not be true. I think he was a 4.0 student. He's one of the few guys, we only brought a select number of guys in Minnesota, and he told us, he made a lot of money selling potato chips in high school. I think he was an entrepreneur at an early age, bought big box of potato chips, sold them for $1 a piece until the administration caught wind of it, and as always happens, the big corporation shuts you down. I think he's a wonderful guy. Coaches swear by him. Known some guys on staff forever. Just a really neat guy from a great family. And again, I think it's really cool in today's day and age of college basketball that he didn't take the easy way out. He could have easily left UCLA. Could have found a program that would have been easier, and he stuck with it. And that UCLA program produces winners.
Tim, when you're looking at players, and are you looking more at needs of the roster or the attraction you just have to their game, whether it be perimeter defense or rebounding in that sort of way? Are you looking at need or just kind of what they have?
Yeah, I think in the second round it's more just talent. I do think you're trying to find a variance of players too, not just game but body type. So I think in the second round in particular, there's a guy or two that we like that look different than a lot of the body types we have. So it's a crapshoot. I think you just got to find really, really good guys. I think that's the one constant in the second round that gives you a chance. There's so many good players in the NBA. We drafted a really, really good person at 53. We had somebody else tonight. I think they'll have similar characteristics in terms of self-motivated, bright. We don't want to handhold guys in the gym, especially in the second round.
Somebody goes into the process and then comes out, and then comes back in a year later. Do you have a pretty good base knowledge of them?
It's just
Can you
like
get to the next
2
year?
words. Sounds like that word. Yeah. Like if a guy that you've seen matriculate up maybe from a different country and then goes to a professional league domestically. Yeah, there's a familiarity there that helps.
Somebody's going through the draft process twice.
Yeah, it's helpful. Our staff is so good. These guys are amazing, and they make sure that I don't do too many boneheaded things. The more you see the guy, the more comfortable you are. It's amazing the amount of research we do now. I think almost too much. But the guys that we're going to bring in our building have been unbelievably thoroughly vetted. We've talked to. We're lucky we have relationships at extensive relationships at collegiate level, at obviously the G League level, and they're just good guys. Whoever we bring in here.
As you kind of navigate this new CBA moving forward, and with maybe some of the contracts coming online in the next few years, how important is it to have maybe multiple guys every year that are kind of cost controlled in this way.
Yeah.
That you can develop and then in maybe 2-3 years become part of your rotation.
Yeah, I think we had some luck last year with Wendell and Josh. You know, these guys look fantastic. They've lived in the gym. You know, we're out a bunch of first round picks, so we're probably a bit more aggressive trying to find guys that maybe are a year early or guys that have slipped for an injury, for example, like Jalen. I don't think we can just follow too many trends. I think we've got to be creative and kind of cross our fingers. Anytime a guy's drafted in the second round, the odds are stacked against them, but there's so many good examples of second round picks that have become, you know, big time players, and we think Jalen has a chance to follow that path. But you know, we know that we've given up a lot of first, so how can we creatively kind of find value and find young players that hopefully can play up to that level?
When
was
you
that
talk
when you-
about market inefficiencies, and especially in the second round, is the fact that you are noticeably higher on a guy than the consensus, but there are other people who are also really high on that guy, does that kind of give you more of a feeling like this could be a real good, this could be a market efficiency?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just-
do you notice what other people do, or do you just basically trust your staff?
I mean, we have such a great staff. We argue like crazy. And then, you know, this morning we have a board, and I manipulate a little bit. Yeah, you kind of go with your gut. That by the time you reach this week, you've watched all the video, you've talked to all the coaches, you've talked to teammates, you've talked to everybody, and then cross your fingers. And a lot of it's environmental. A lot of good players get drafted to teams that maybe they don't have the ability to get on the court. You know, that's probably the best indicator of success overall. But cross your fingers. It's super. You know, I've been lucky with draft picks. I've made picks that didn't work out. So there's no exact science.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
No, that was good.